This video is brought to you by Scopic.com. Get yours now.
Hey guys, this is Phil from underKG.com. So we're going to take a look at Samsung Galaxy A3 2016 edition. Now, this is an updated version of the Galaxy A series, and we have done the review of the Galaxy A5, 7, and 9. If you have missed them, you can watch it right now. There's a card, and this is the latest and the smallest of the Galaxy A series. Now, this is pretty small at 4.7 inches, but this is not like the iPhone small. This is a 4-incher iPhone, this is 4.7-incher Galaxy A3, but not that is Galaxy S7 big either. So this is somewhere in the middle, and in today's standards, I would say that this is really, really small. All right, let's start with the design. I really like the Galaxy A series design. It's front and back is covered by the glass, and especially this black color, I think is really good design. It's a very clean slate looking design with the metal frames covering all around. And especially for this price range, this is slightly more expensive than about $270. And at that price range, you can hardly find anything of a great build like this. I really like the design, and it fits really well in the hand. And as I look into this, it reminds me of the Xperia Z1 Compact. This is a pink one, so it might look a lot different, but especially how it feels with the metal frame and the front back covered with the glass, it really reminds me of the good old Xperia Z1 Compact. That was one of my favorite phones. Now, in terms of display, it's not exactly the best display that you can find. So as you can see right here, the pixels are definitely noticeable. So it's not as the resolution is not as high as you wish it to be, and especially reading those small black letters does annoy you because pixels are not as condensed as most of the latest phones are. But again, it doesn't mean that it's unbearable quality of this display. It's bright enough, and I think the color is well saturated and accurately managed over here. It's running a quad-core processor, in this case Exynos Octa 7580. It's running at 1.5 gigahertz, and it's a 4 cores of the Cortex A53. And along with that, it's got a 1.5 gigabyte of RAM. I'm not exactly a fan of those half a gigabyte kind of RAMs, and they do bring some problems when you are multitasking heavily. So when you get back to some apps, some resource-heavy apps, it sometimes tend to take a very long time, and they reload from the first place. So in the other term, it kills the older processors. We've dealt with quite a lot of the Snapdragon 410 or the quad-core A53 devices here and there, and this is somewhat laggier than a lot of other phones. Just launching the apps isn't as fast as quite a lot of quad-core phones are. This is one of the disappointments because I expected better performances than this, because A53 quad-core devices in the year of 2016 are actually very fast. But again, it doesn't mean that it's unusual in any sort. It just means that it's not as fluid as you wish it to be. Furthermore, you can launch the camera by tapping twice on the shutter key, on the home key. By the way, the home key doesn't have anything fancy like the fingerprint reader, so you have to look at that. In a good way, it doesn't get scratched out as much as the fingerprint readers do, so that's one good thing. So the camera is easily accessible and is at the aperture rate of f1.9. I would call that pretty bright, and it takes pretty good pictures, especially considering the price range. The front-facing camera is pretty good too. You can simply tap to switch to the front-facing camera, and they are actually pretty good. In terms of audio, it's got a headphone jack on the bottom along with the speaker grill over there as well. And the speaker is actually better than I thought, especially coming from a small device like this. This is better than most of the competitions. And the battery is something that a lot of people are worried about these days. It's got 2300 milliamps of battery, and I would say it's pretty good. It's not Galaxy A5 or Galaxy A7 good, but it's pretty good as a 4.7 incher. It succeeded to give me about 4 hours and a slightly more or less of that time. Again, I didn't enable any power saving mode, and I was using the full LTE network coverage, so keep in mind that if you have better power saving options, or if you tend to make your screen a little bit darker than I usually do, you might be able to get a little more than that. What I was not particularly happy about was the charging. So it takes 1.5A charger, and with that speed, it takes about 2.5 hours to fully charge this from 5% to 100%. Now that's a very, very long time, and this doesn't come with any kind of quick charge capability, so that's a bummer. Overall, is it worth the prices that it's asking for? It's quite a pricey device for the specs that it's got. In short, I like the way it feels, but I really don't like its performances. It did not perform as good as its exteriors did, and I can't really say that this is exactly a good bang for the buck. It's got the looks, but it doesn't have what it takes. Again, the old saying is still relevant here: don't judge the book by its cover, and don't get the phone by its looks. Thank you always for watching. You can meet us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and we'll see you guys later. Ciao!